Glad to see you back, and I'm glad to be back. So today I just wanted to talk about what things have happened, what I went through, and what we can do today. So we're just going to talk about what happened for me. I put a post earlier today regarding my mini stroke. So with this mini stroke, the only side effect that I may have is with my speech. I sound okay now, but sometimes I can't think of the right word, so I'll stutter or I'll say, "Hey, what was that again?" But every day it's getting better, especially since hey, good to see you. Especially since I started when I began the mini stroke up until today so far. My speech has increased, and when I'm reading a book, it is also increasing as well. My speech is getting better. I'm feeling better. So I thought I would start our Fit in 15 again. Hopefully you guys will like to join it again. So we're going to talk about the mini stroke today. I wasn't feeling well a couple of days, just like a migraine headache. So on Wednesday, I believe that was the 20, it happened on the 27th. So the 25th, 24th, the 24th, I believe. I went to a client, and when I was there talking to him, I felt like I couldn't say anything. So I would talk to him, but he was like laughing, like thought I was joking, like, "What's doing? What are you doing? What's going on?" So I couldn't bring words come out of my mouth. So it was, I believe it felt like jib jabs. I don't know how to say that, but that's how I felt it was happening. But it only happened one day on that Wednesday when this all started. So on Thursday, the next day around 6 a.m., I had another client, and I felt the same way as well. Ooh, forgot to say, on that Wednesday before, I told my husband, I felt like I could not say words, but I wasn't sure how to explain that. And he just thought that was weird as well too. So then the next day, Wednesday, it happened again around 6 a.m. I had a client, and the client said to me, he was laughing. He thought it was a joke. He's like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "That's so funny. Like, what's going on?" And then I was just like, I can't. That was about 15 minutes. Then it was over. Then I said to him, I said, "I don't know what happened." I said, I couldn't say anything to you, but I felt like I was trying to say something. And he was just like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on." He was like, "Wait, sit down, talk to me." And I explained to him what happened, and he was like, "Maybe you should go to the doctor." Of course, when you think you know everything and you're not sick. I was like, "No, I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone." So I was fine. Again, fine that day. So maybe later on in the day, I was trying to read something to my husband again, and he was just like, something was off. So then he had talked to his sister, and his sister told him to take me to the ER. And I was like, "No, I don't need to go there. I'm fine." So then after that, on Friday, I don't remember what I did, but still was having the same problem. So then he said to me, hold on, I'm getting hot. Turn on the fan. Hopefully you can hear me well. So Friday, we went to lunch, and he asked me to read something from his phone. So I thought I was reading it the right way, and he was like, "That's it, we're going to the ER." And I'm like, "I don't need to go to the hospital. I'm fine." And he's like, we're going to the hospital. So every day my husband tells me he has saved my life. And I'm like, "Okay, I know it. Thank you. Appreciate you." But So I went to the hospital. We went to the ER, Lourdes in Camden, and the at the ER they did my blood pressure, and as soon as they did my blood pressure, they took off the cuff, and they were like, "Come with us," and I'm like, "Okay." So they immediately ruled me into the ICU. So me, I'm still feeling okay. The only thing I had was like a headache. I didn't have any other side effects except for the speech. And so he took me to the ER and, excuse me, the ICU. Then I started to, they gave me a CAT scan. And they said I had a mini stroke. And they also said that I had a brain bleed. So I guess it's healing now, but I had a brain bleed, but it was a bruise. It wasn't, I don't know the correct way to say it, but I had a bruise. And so I was in ICU from Friday until I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. They wanted me to have a angiograph, which is they put they insert your wrist for I can't see, like, this is a little bit of what's going on, trying to explain certain things, but you can Google angiogram and you can see what it is. So then they wanted me to hang around in the ICU until I can get this angiogram. And they said they didn't want me to leave because they weren't sure what was going to happen. So I had to stay in the ICU that whole time. Then the first night I had 2 or 3 CAT scans. They said everything looked pretty good. The only thing that was they were trying to watch was the high blood pressure. And when I went in, it was 255 over 155, I believe. And they couldn't believe I didn't have any other any effects with the blood pressure. So then, I'm gonna try and quick this up, making it long. So they were on medication basically until I got out of the hospital. I'm on meds now, and yeah, so it was the high blood pressure. Both of my parents have high blood pressure, and it is hereditary. However, throughout the years, I really wasn't, having issues with it. The last time I had a physical was in 3 years. I know, 3 years ago, I should be doing every year, but I have now learned my lesson. And 3 years ago, when I had my blood pressure, it was like 129, 20, 130 over. It was normal. It was. But what was interesting to me, I have this journal that I write in every morning. And, excuse me. In the journal, I write a paragraph about what I am, my goals, what I want to do, how I want to feel. And what is so crazy, ironic, on September 27th, I wrote right here that I am grateful for my brain. Thank you. Now, when I went through other posts prior to the 27th, I'm like, I don't remember writing this down, and I never wrote it before about being grateful for my brain and thankful for that. And then after that, I wrote a paragraph about some information for my body, but it was kind of crazy because of the mini stroke going on, and it didn't really make sense. But the only thing that did make sense to me was when I said that I was grateful for my brain, and thank you for that. Isn't that crazy how stuff like that can happen? The other thing that I said was, this is throughout the time when the mini stroke was going on. I wrote in the highlight, it says health is, this is like when this is going on. Didn't make sense, but I wrote health is with no pain. And I wanted to say I don't have any pain with my health. And then I also wrote no cognitive, no health, no tissues, no pain, no mental. All my body is working for everything. So that phase right there was reading what was happening with my brain, my body, the mini stroke, while I was going through that problem. So I just think that was kind of crazy and ironic that I was talking about my brain on that day. And I usually write this in the morning, first thing in the morning. And this is what was in my journal. Isn't that something? How I wrote that was going on. I couldn't feel anything, but I just had the headache. So maybe the headache was making me feel that way. So I just want to let you know to go get your physical and to get your blood pressure checked. Or yeah, check. Go get a cuff and check it yourself daily. What else would be good for you? I'm back to driving, training other people. I have another CAT scan in another week or so, and once I get the results from that, will just depend when I can start lifting weights again. But I want you to know, while I was in the hospital, every time I got to a test, the doctors and the nurses would do tests for your body, for your eyes, for your brain, to see how you are doing with the stroke, the mini stroke. So every time I had a test, they would say, "Oh my gosh, you're so strong." They're like, "Wow, it's a good thing that you are so strong. The stronger you are, it seems like the better off you were." They said the stroke that I had, they said, was the best type of stroke that you could have, because my body is strong. I worked out, looked healthy most of the time, but being strong, lifting those weights definitely basically saved my life. They said if I wasn't so strong, it could have been a lot worse than what it was. So please remember, you need to lift your weights. You need to check your blood pressure. You need to get physicals. Every day we are getting older, and some older than others, but sometimes you can't you can't take control of your blood pressure. You can't. If you can, go get help. Go get help. Keep yourself as healthy as possible. Get your examinations and stay strong. Staying strong is what kept my life. So I want you to remember that you have to keep strong and lift those weights. That is what's going to change your mind and change your body. Yeah. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them below, and I will I'll answer the questions that I have. So I want to thank you guys for coming and watching and praying and sending healthy vibes for me. I appreciate it. I love you, and I want you just to be the best version of yourself while you're here. Okay? So thanks for watching. And next week, we'll see what